I just... Okay, I had a little snack. I feel better.
Okay, good.
So, Saturday I came to my mom's. We spent the day together, and we decided to... Well, I guess we spent half the day, because I came in the morning, I think. But we decided to go just take a drive, and we ended up stopping at some relatives and friends' houses and talking to them. It was a blast. And then we were exhausted, because we love to socialize, but we also get exhausted by it.
Right.
So we came home, and we're
And I
like...
think people might get exhausted by us.
Yeah, probably. So enjoy your nap after you listen to the podcast. So we're like, oh, we'll just wake up Sunday. We'll do a podcast episode, and that'll be great. We have some ideas for TikToks. We're just going to like get a bunch of stuff done. It'll be awesome. The universe had different plans for us on Sunday.
Yes, it did.
So we usually wake up. I would say most times I'm here, we take a walk. We usually go, there's a waterfront walk here that we do. And usually our routine is to get coffee and then we go for a walk. So we got coffee and we start walking. There's two parts to this walk. So you park and you can go one way, do a mini loop, come back, and you're at the car. And then we usually continue and do the second part of the walk. So the first part, I had my bag with my phone and my keys and my wallet, all the stuff. And that was fine. But then I was like, I don't need to be carrying all this stuff for the second part of the walk, because the second part of the walk is longer. And so my mom doesn't have her phone. I put my phone in the car. I just carry my car keys. I lock the car and we cruise. And I'm in a really bad mood suddenly. Did you just wink at me?
I did. I didn't wink at
You did, though.
It was involuntary.
An involuntary wink?
It wasn't on purpose.
You can't control your winks?
I think
Yeah, accidental winker.
I think you're I think you've done too much background information.
What do you mean?
You'll see when you listen to it.
What? I'm setting the scene.
Okay.
Okay. So we start walking, no phones, whatever. I'm in a bad mood, but then my mom is being very negative about everything, and I tell her she needs to have a more positive outlook on life. And
Which really instantly made me have a more positive outlook.
I'm like,
When somebody tells you need to be looking more positive, bang, that does it.
Yeah, I know it does it for me. That's for sure. Why are you sitting like that? You're holding on for dear life. That's going to make sense when you hear the rest of the story, actually. So, for some reason, I love going on a walk. I usually am like feeling good about a walk, and I walk most days. I'm trying to get my 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
But I felt it in my bone. I was like, I do not want to be walking right now. I said that to you. Like, I do not want to be on this walk right now. But then we were like, let's just keep going, I guess. But I just didn't want to. And I don't know why I felt that way until we do the little turnaround point. And I'm going to set the scene some more. Is that going to bother you? So we do the little turnaround, we come back, and there is this section of the walk where it's like a rocky edge that's probably like 10 feet to the ocean, right? And there's no fencing to the ocean.
Right.
So we're turning, and it's like a sharp corner edge.
Right.
And so it's just open to the water and really sharp rocks down a hill.
Really sharp rocks.
And so suddenly, oh no, I'm sitting like you were. So suddenly I look over at my mom to maybe say something. I don't know, but she's a little bit behind
Probably
me.
you're telling me to keep my good mood.
Yeah, probably. I'm like,
Mom,
karma's coming.
lighten up.
I'm like, bad things will happen if you speak them into existence. I think
that was a quote.
I think that's exactly what I said to you. Like, stop speaking these things into existence. So then suddenly it's like this happened in slow motion. I see my mom kind of scuff her foot and she falls completely forward. She has a cane, but the cane doesn't help.
Right.
And she falls forward, but as she's falling forward, she kind of rolls off of the edge of the walkway, which, like I said, is a ton of just sharp rocks down to the
And
ocean.
we're not talking pebbles.
No, like jagged, giant rocks. And aesthetically very beautiful, but now that I've witnessed a near death,
Don't exaggerate on our podcast.
a near death experience. So it's not even an exaggeration, though. You didn't see yourself. I saw. So, okay. She goes down. It feels like it happens for 10 minutes. It's probably 5 seconds. She goes down. She is stuck on her side.
Like this.
And I grab onto her because she looks like she's about to roll off of the cliff, whatever. It's like it's not really a cliff.
Like an embankment of
Yeah. So
rocks.
imagine
Down to the ocean.
Imagine seeing your mom with mobility issues just fly off a rocky edge into the ocean. She says, "I think I hit my head. I think I hit my head." And she did hit her head. And so I panic. I'm like, I don't have a phone. So the thing about my mom is she can't stand up from this chair, like,
Let alone from
like,
a rocky ledge.
yeah. So, and you've fallen quite a few times.
I've fallen a few
This
times.
year,
Yeah.
specifically, but this one was so scary. I genuinely thought I was going to touch the back of her head. Well, I had to slide down. I start sliding down because her head is on a rock like this, a point, and and you're trying to like rest your head, but you can't because it's like sharp rock.
Well, I was
And then you're
focusing
like,
on not rolling down the
then
river.
I like start shimmying down, and I have to. She's like, I'm falling. Then luckily, these 3 people turn the corner. Thank whoever for those people, because one of them had a phone. And we're like, call 911, call 911.
Yeah, there's
and,
like 5 of us there, and only one of us had a phone.
yeah. So, but luckily, he was on it. He was calling 911. I shimmy my leg under my mom's head. I think when I'm about to touch the back of your head that it's going to be bloody because it just seemed like maybe I've watched too many movies.
Yeah.
But I thought, because she said she'd hit her head, I was like, oh, God. And then she suddenly goes, look at my hand. Her middle finger bent at a 90-degree angle.
Yes, it was.
It was
Gruesome.
It was gruesome. It was horrifying. I'm not going to insert a photo because we do have photos of it.
Yeah.
Once we got to the hospital, which is a whole another part of the story. But she is like, look at my hand. But meanwhile, you're wearing your Apple Watch, which is ringing so loudly because it alerts when you fall, but it doesn't call anyone. It's kind of like a pointless thing. Like it didn't.
Apparently, it calls if you have your phone near you.
Oh, well, great. There's no phone near you. So it's just ringing and ringing. But the guy is on phone with 911. My mom is obviously in shock and is like, I'm never going to get up from here. I hit my head, look at my finger. And but then she suddenly just yells, help! And we're like, we are helping. And this little older guy, John, thank you, John.
Yes.
He
thank you,
shimmied
John.
down the rocky edge, put his back to my mom's back so she wouldn't roll down
and
into the
whispered
ocean.
into my neck.
What?
He said, my name is John, and I'm going to sit here until the paramedics
He was very,
come.
he was calm.
He was very calm.
He just came and like, I put my leg under your head, so you weren't really propped.
Right.
There. But my mom thinks no one's helping her or calling 911. So she just randomly yells help. And I'm like, he's on the phone with 911. But that poor guy, because I just like, he's like, I think her finger might be broken. And I'm like, give me the phone. I'm like, her finger's at a 90-degree angle. I need help. And they got there pretty quick.
They did.
But
they were great.
Unfortunately, where we were, they had to walk a decent distance to come get you. Weren't sure if they could bring a stretcher where we were, and it was this whole ordeal. They get my mom up, which was amazing.
miracle.
And she could walk, which was also amazing because I also didn't know that if you stood up, if your foot or your leg would have been the same as your finger. Like, to me, I was like, oh,
Right.
she's just like mangled on the edge of a cliff right now. I keep calling it a cliff. It's not a cliff, but
No, it's like a ledge.
a ledge, yeah. And so then they discuss about 14 different emergency rooms to pick out which one she wants to go. And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to follow. I'm like, oh, okay. I know which town she's going to. She's going to Bangor. And so I'm like, okay, I got to go to the car. I got to call Gil, my stepdad, her husband. And he's home. Like, I have to text my brother. I don't know. I was just like panicked. But I had a long walk back to the car because we were pretty far from it. And they just take her. I will say, too, that at some point I could tell you were in complete shock because she's just sitting there with her finger, like, at a 90-degree angle. And she's like, John so-and-so. I was friends with someone with that last name. I'm like, that woman is mangled. And she's just like, I knew someone with that name, which is
I
so
wasn't
you.
in shock. That was typical of me.
I know, but it just... I couldn't... I've been having nightmares about this visual of my mom on a rocky
I'm sorry that you
ledge.
I think it was way more traumatic for you than it was for me.
Which is so crazy to me because if you saw what I saw, it's actually shocking that you're walking, talking, you're fine. I thought that was it. And I did just see that astrologer and he told me someone was going to die, remember? I thought that was it.
It's all because of that earlier positive talk you gave me, and I had such a positive attitude going that I couldn't lose.
Yeah, I guess so. That's the way to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was because you were being so negative, and then it was like, I'll show you negative. Threw you right off the ledge. Meanwhile, okay, so they take you away. They give you drugs
Take me away.
to help the pain, but they have to keep her finger like that until she gets to the hospital.
My finger was like that for how many hours? 5?
Well, let me get to this.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So then I go home. I pack my car full of my stuff really fast. I tell my stepdad he's sick already. He's at home sick. And then I just rush to the hospital, and I get there, and there's like security you have to check. I'm carrying my mom's giant bags and all of her stuff. I brought her a coffee and a Diet Coke and and a sweatshirt. Like, I was trying to like bring her stuff. So then I had my work bag with my laptop and everything so I could do some work. I just assumed we'd be at the hospital for a while. I thought maybe she'd be there for good, quite frankly. And so I get there, and they were like, no one by that name is here. And I'm like, what? Where is she? And then they're like, well, there's another hospital. I'm like, shoot, I have to go to the other hospital. So then I rush over there. It's actually only like a 10-minute drive from the other hospital. Close. So I rush over there, and the guy at the front desk there goes, nope, no one with the last name that starts with a B is here at all. And I'm like, where the hell is she? Where did my mom go? Where did they bring her? I was like, did I just completely, my brain was so jumbled that I was like, is she in a completely different town, state? I don't know. Did she die? Where is she? And then probably a minute goes by, and he goes, wait. I start leaving. And he's like, wait.
Oh, you started to leave?
Yeah, and he's like, she is here. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then I turn the corner, he opens the door. She's literally just right there. She's like, hi.
I thought I heard
with
you
her
talking out there.
With her mangled finger. So she's still sitting there with her mangled finger. She's like, no one has come to help me at all. She's like shivering on a bed with her finger at a 90-degree angle. I'm like,
I was in triage.
Can someone help my mom, please? Like, what is going on? You were in triage for probably almost 4 hours, right? 3.5?
Well, all together, but I mean, they came. They came
eventually after like an hour.
I'm not
of me
complaining.
being there.
I'm not complaining. They were busy.
She was. I will say she was complaining.
I was only.
Look. She was complaining when I got there, which is fair because she was just like literally mangled.
I was lonely.
She goes, "Where have you been?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, well, I went to the wrong hospital."
And I said, "Of course you did."
Yeah. anyways, we're here. We're fine. For some reason, this has affected me in a way that I did not expect. I think it's like...
Yeah, she went home 2 days ago, and then she came back.
Yeah, well, now I'm back again because we had to record a podcast episode. It was necessary.
For the network.
For the network. Yeah, we had to do it for the network, for the plot. I wanted to tell this story while it was still fresh. Are you holding the mic with your mangled finger?
I am.
She just got her splint off this morning.
Yeah. And
I don't know if you can see it.
It's swollen, but it's good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold up that simple finger, but it's swollen. But it's all good. They just popped it back in place. It's amazing.
That was actually... shout out to the nurse who wrote this podcast down, because this is what we need to talk about. So the woman comes into the register nurse, right? I don't know.
The registration.
Yeah. She came in with her computer and she's asking my mom, like, are you married? I don't know. What other questions they ask you?
Yeah.
Your date of birth.
Are you depressed?
Are you depressed? Yeah. All these things. And then she's like, religion? My mom just goes, Protestant. I don't know. Something came out of me that it was the funniest thing I had quite literally ever heard in that moment, because I not once do I can't, you're not religious at all to me, at all. You have no religion. And so when she said Protestant so confidently, I was like, no, you're not. Then we argue.
We're arguing about my religious preference.
In front of this poor lady. But then she starts laughing with us. And I think at some point she says, I'm Catholic.
Right.
Which cracked me up. And I was like, I'm nothing. And this woman raised me to be nothing. And the fact that because you went to church when you were little, you've always identified with that.
I went to church into my adulthood.
You did?
Yeah. I was a candle lighter.
When you were 15?
When I was 15. I was in the choir.
How old?
When I was 16 or 17.
So you're still identifying.
I read a lot of pieces in church. You know,
Pieces
I was
of
in
what? The Bible.
The Bible. Like I got up there and would be a reader. And I taught Bible school for 2 weeks one summer when I found this recently in a newspaper clipping. You're supposed to laugh at that. You're supposed to say you found that in a newspaper
Well,
clipping.
I guess I was processing that. What else? You read me a newspaper clipping. Was that what you read me this week?
Maybe. Anyway, I have lots of proof, including programs from the church fellowship group I was in.
Yeah, but do you wholeheartedly believe in God?
Well, I'm not going to talk about that on the pod.
Okay.
Just because.
She's worried about
See,
you're worried about offending someone, but
No.
it's just your preference.
I think religion's a pretty personal thing, and apparently
No,
I've kept it very close to the vest.
I think
There's nothing like being in the hospital and having somebody ask you your a question like that you confidently know the answer of, and her to go, no, you're not.
don't act like you wouldn't do that to me. I got that from you. No, you're not.
Remember that time that doctor in Bangor, I was taking you to a doctor because you had back issues or something. You had some kind of issues. Many doctor's appointments later, but you had some issues, and you and I were arguing. And then he opened the door, we stopped talking, and he looked at us and goes, "You two fighting?" or whatever he said. Do you remember that?
Vaguely. We fight. If you think our relationship is all cupcakes and sugar,
Yeah.
it's not, but most of it is. It has been, Mercury's in retrograde.
You have mentioned that several times. My Lord. You go to an astrologer. You feel like somebody that you know is going to die soon. Then I fall flat on my face and almost down the hill into the river.
I believe it all. He said that also death could just be like a thought I have a lot in this time. And yeah, I've been thinking about it. I genuinely, in my heart, thought this is it. There she goes. Because how do you roll down?
There she goes.
There she blows. Had you rolled down the embankment against all these sharp rocks and into the water?
I know. I was so afraid. Thank goodness John held me up there.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, my name is John. I'm going to sit behind you, and you're not going to roll anywhere. That's what I remember from that whole thing. He was so nice.
He was so nice.
Yeah. I got to find John. I know his last name. And I've got to find him.
You need to write him a thank you card.
If I had illegible handwriting. I mean, legible handwriting.
If only my handwriting was illegible. Her handwriting is terrible.
Yeah.
Speaking of doctors.
So they were very good to me. It took a long time. I know you're probably going to dispute this. Go. But I'm a very patient person.
No, I do agree with that.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
It's true, though.
No,
I am
you
very
are
patient. And the whole idea of triage, I agree with. Nobody cares whether I agree or not. But, I mean, the whole point
You're so political.
in my life. I mean,
no,
they were taking me when they needed to take me.
I think they also clearly understood. I mean, they had people that needed help.
I did have 3 medical professionals at 3 different times step back and like kind of wince when they saw my finger.
Yeah, it was shocking.
Yeah, and how did the woman when I first got there, she put me in a wheelchair. Well, she didn't put me. She brought a wheelchair out, and I got in the wheelchair, and she said, "You have a remarkable demeanor for someone with this kind of injury."
That would send me right over the edge.
I'm like,
that would make me cry instantly.
Thank you. I think it's because I'm famous.
Not us plugging our podcast mid-fight with the reception. We're like, if you want to hear more of this, please tune into our podcast.
I know.
Oh my God.
Obnoxious.
It was. But in the grand. Oh wait, sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, but in the grand scheme of things, to take your words right out of your mouth, I'm okay. But we're about to be hit by lightning.
We just heard thunder, or was it thunder, or was that just a plane?
I'm going with a plane.
It is getting
No, it's not a plane. It's thunder.
It's kind of getting dark out here. This gonna be a 2-parter podcast. Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
Wait, I don't know why I said that, but all I have to say about the ending of this is that she didn't even break her finger. That's the most shocking part of all of this to me. Is she just dislocated it and they just put it back?
I just snapped it in place.
Yeah. Crazy.
And it was, everybody, just a shout out to everybody that took good care of me, and including John, who was going to sit behind me.
It seems like you have a crush on John.
I don't even remember what he looked like. I'm going to feel bad if I'm out walking.
I do.
And he walks by me because he'll know me with my cane and my limp.
He doesn't give me the energy of someone who would be like, I saved you. Like you would do that. He'd be like, hey, why don't you remember me? I saved you. He's like too kind. Are we safe?
I don't know.
Guess we'll find out.
I'm a little nervous, but it might help with the vibe.
It might help with it is getting very dark. God, the last thing we need is to get struck by lightning on the pod.
If we were recording, though.
Might be kind of cool. No, don't. I can't take any more this week. She actually asked me to go for a walk when I got here, and I said no. I'm too traumatized. I can't walk with this woman ever again.
Well, you think you're traumatized. I'm worried about falling all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm worried about you falling all the time too.
Yeah.
So, well, last week, first of all, the first half of the walk, we didn't even talk about this. We were prepping what we were going to talk about on the pod.
And we've totally forgotten
And
it.
when she was laying on the jagged rocks, we both collectively said, well, at least we have a story for the podcast. Because
For those of you who are now rolling your eyes.
we're not normal people. I am glad I don't have a picture of you and didn't have access to my phone. Well, it would have been nice to be able to call 911, I guess. But I don't
I'm
ever.
so glad I could not call 911.
I am so glad.
Go ahead.
Okay. So last week, this is what I was preparing to say. Last week, I decided to go to a coffee shop to work for a couple hours, and there's one in Biddeford I really like because it's open late, and there's usually a spot to sit. So, and if you're like me, you have like anxiety about going into a place and like, yeah, I'll take my coffee for here, but then there's nowhere to sit, and then it's like panic worthy. Sometimes I just get it in a to-go cup, so I don't have to commit to sitting.
Right.
But I want to sit, and I want a regular mug. I'm sitting there, and I had been working there for probably 2 hours, and I was working in Premiere Pro, which is like a video editing software, and I was working on a project I'm doing, and all of a sudden the fire alarm goes off, and it's like, wah, 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 like so loud, and everyone in the coffee shop is obviously just like, it was very jarring because it was very quiet in there. And everyone's just working, and we're like, oh my God. So there's a guy that sits to the left of me on this high top, and he had already been kind of annoying because he was in a meeting. So he took a meeting, like a Zoom meeting at the coffee shop. So it's like, I don't know. It was just kind of like annoying. He sat close to me and was just talking and like in the meeting mode, but I was trying to like have a quiet moment. And so when the fire alarm goes off, I'm like frantically packing up my stuff. I have 3 hard drives out. I'm like working on a ton of stuff. So I'm like trying to get all my wires in order. And the fire alarm is so loud. And I just hear, hey, you working on Premiere Pro? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, cool. Like, you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I do that. And he's like, oh, like videography? I'm like, yeah, kind of. Yes. And he's like, whoa, that's really cool. Like, I'm a designer. I was like, I heard.
I think we need to stop.
I think we need to go inside.
Okay.
Anyways, he was trying to hit on me while the fire alarm was going off. And I'm glad no one's here trying to hit on me while the
All right. Bye.
nature's Did you hang up like a phone? Okay, love you. Love you. Bye. Hold on. I need to finish eating this candy.
I need to dial and say hello.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep,
Beep, beep, beep, beep.
boop. Ring, ring.
Hello, Hillary.
Hello?
We're back.
Was that, in fact, thunder?
That was, in fact, thunder, and I think there were a couple of lightnings. I don't know if that's plural, if you can
Well,
do
yeah,
it.
she wanted me to close the window in here because she thought we were going to get struck in here, too.
Yeah, I was worried.
We did do a part 2 right after in this room, but I forgot to put the sound on. Sound is on now.
That's happened before,
Hey.
but we decided it wasn't that good. So we're going to do a part 2 called what?
Fast food palate cleanser.
Yeah, this will be a fast food palate cleanser.
We did just listen to part 1 in the car ride, and we thought we were pretty funny.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think? Be honest. Don't skip this part like I know you did on the last episode because I can see.
Can we just talk about this? So Hillary's checking our stats, which I have no idea how to
Our
do.
analytics,
Which is our
yeah.
analytics.
I don't know much about like what the numbers actually mean, but it does say that 0% people listen to this 1 5-minute part. And so I went on to the last episode to see what that 5-minute part was. And it was my was my song I wrote when I was 14 or 15 in my diary that I read aloud. And you know what? Thank you for skipping that.
So
Because
it's so
it
funny.
was hard to read.
Do you think did they hear you read the first 2 lines and then we're out of here? Fast
I
forward.
don't even know. I feel like the cringe level was at 300%.
Yeah.
So, you know
And
what?
you're already
I don't blame you.
you're-
I don't blame you.
you're already
Thank you
nervous.
for skipping.
You're already nervous because you think people just want me and not you.
Yeah, now I know it's fact. I know it's fact. They're like, I do not care. I only care if Claude wrote the song and is regaling it to us, which is fair because, anyways, I just want to thank everyone who skipped that part. And now to the palate cleanser.
So this is a story from March 21st, 1970.
This is the next day, by the way.
The next day from what?
Wait, sorry.
Oh,
Today.
I thought something happened on March 20th, 1970 that I was supposed to remember.
No. Just we took a night off from doing this part 2, and now we're doing this the day before we're gonna launch it.
diligent.
Okay. Anyways, sorry, I don't know why I interrupted to say that.
Okay, so Sandy, that was a friend of mine in high school.
Ooh.
Sandy and I left for Burger King. When we were in line to get our food, there were 2 hippies in front of us. They were arguing about whether they should each get a bag of French fries or only get one and split it. First of all, the things I write about in my diary.
That is you got mad at me yesterday for adding too much detail, and that's what you're writing in your diary. So where did I get
I'm
it
so
from?
mad. There were so many times where I wish I had written a way more detail.
Yeah.
Okay. They were arguing about whether they should each get a bag of French fries or only get one and split it. One was saying 1/2, and the other was saying a whole.
What?
I think I should have read this ahead of time. A whole. WHOLE. Like a whole piece of pie. Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so one was saying
there was no
a-hole
swearing
and
that was said at all or that I wrote in this entry. I didn't know.
Oh.
I piped up and said 1/2. Good thing I didn't say the other thing. They would have thought I was calling them names.
Oh my god.
I got my foot stuck.
Oh,
Okay. I piped up and said 1/2. Then they turned around and started talking to us. Like, I know how to pick up guys.
Yeah, I guess you do.
We asked one of them, he was cute in parentheses. We asked one of them, he was cute, to get us a free Humpty Dumpty repair kit.
What?
A free Humpty Dumpty repair kit.
Okay, let me rephrase that. What? What is that?
Are your palates cleansed yet?
Oh my god, mine is.
Sorry for the accidental swearing back there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We asked one of them, he was cute, to get us a free Humpty Dumpty repair kit. Well, it was some kind of marketing device that we'll have to check out later, I guess.
A marketing device?
Did I say that correctly?
I don't know.
I don't either.
You're not speaking words.
But they were all out of Humpty Dumpty repair kits. So, they got us Burger King crowns instead.
Ooh.
Then he asked our names and crowned us. And that's the end of the story. I was 16,
Wait.
almost 17.
Okay, cool. That's a cool guy move to crown you.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds wrong. You
Well,
got crowned.
I remember going to that Burger
You got
King.
crowned by a a-hole.
No, I did not.
Wait, I need to know if they split fries or they got separate.
We'll never know. That's the thing about my diary. We'll never know. We'll never know.
Well, actually, we know a lot.
We know a lot, but we don't know. Like, I don't know if I ever saw him again.
Know, yeah.
But the kids used to go there after the basketball games and stuff. That place would be mobbed.
Yeah.
It was right off Forest Avenue, well, right in that area.
Okay.
And yeah. And I used to always ask for a crown, I think, and routinely feel I had to wear it on my head, even though I was 16, 17.
So, I'd still wear a crown if I was a person that went to Burger King.
Yeah.
But
You want another fast food story since this is a fast food palate cleanser?
yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Fast forward 6 years later.
Okay. How old are you?
I am 23.
Okay.
A lot of things happened in that year, 1976.
Ooh.
This is, oh, whoops. Okay, so I'm sitting there drinking a black coffee. That makes me laugh too, because I wish I still drank black coffee.
Yeah, you do love a sugar coffee now.
Oh, but I note in here with artificial sweetener.
Okay, never mind. You were still the same.
Yeah. And observing the people. Parentheses.
Still the same.
Parentheses. Mostly men.
Oh.
Closed parentheses. Actually, I am waiting for the stores to open as I have a few errands to run. Well, this is strange. This guy sitting beside me just said, "Are you keeping a journal?" Whereupon I replied, "As a matter of fact, yes." Then he inquired, not asked, what kind of writing I did. Told him poetry, and that I would like to be able to write a story, but so far I haven't been successful at it. Then he asked me for a piece of paper, and now he's writing. God knows what's on it. Unfortunately, this leaves me in an awkward position, as I would like to leave now. The coffee is tasting worse and worse, and I'm getting shaky. Is a comment expected of me? Then he gave me the poem. This is what he handed to me.
He wrote you a poem? She's folding her paper.
This is titled, he titled it From Bars to Love.
Okay.
To say nothing and be known of you. I want nothing in my great need of you. And to be fulfilled in full. You're not going to believe this next line. You're not going to believe how it ties in. You absolutely are not going to believe it.
Go on.
All right, I'm going to start from the beginning just so we can flow it all together.
Yeah. I'm listening.
Okay. From bars to love. To say nothing and be known of you. I want nothing in my great need of you. And to be fulfilled in full as half of our whole. I can't believe it. Can you believe it?
I think we need to name this episode a whole
Lot of fun.
podcast. A whole episode.
And then his last line is, "This comforts me."
I don't like this.
Why don't you?
It makes me. It might comfort him, but makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it made me uncomfortable because I handed him the piece of paper and felt I had
Ugh.
to wait.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, what do you do? Like,
Yeah, that is awkward. You could tell he was writing something for you.
well,
You must have.
I suspected. I mean, the guys gave me the
Wouldn't that be
crown
embarrassing
before.
that he just walked off and didn't give you anything, and you just waited for nothing?
The coffee was making me sick.
You stayed because you wanted a little gift.
I needed something to staple in my diary that day.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh my God, I love that. Wow. I can't believe how those tied together.
I can't either. I didn't even know because we were going to go in another direction with this little ending to the podcast, this palate cleanser. And
A
all of
whole
a sudden,
palate
I started
cleanser.
to read her the entry about Burger King, the first one story I told about.
She was
She
gonna
goes,
start-
wait, let's do that on the pod.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were in the car and she was looking up entries, but I'm glad that you waited because that was a delight. That was
I
a
can't
delight.
believe the way those two connected.
That's unreal. We still today we sat in a parking lot and people watched. Do you remember? Because this morning we sat in that parking lot, ate our breakfast, and then there were landscaping guys, and one of them goes by on his little mower, and it's the kind that you have to hold with two hands on each side, and he's like jerking his hands back and forth and making a silly face.
Didn't some guy walk by with like a house on his head?
Yeah, what was that? I forgot about that. That just happened. He had his head was inside this upside down house, and it had like a big window though, so you could see it. It almost looked like a house upside down shaped helmet, but giant.
We kid you not.
I feel like I have to draw that because it doesn't make any sense.
Where were we? I saw it
we
first.
saw. We also got recognized today.
Oh yeah.
We went to the thrift store, and someone rolled down their window
They
and
drove up, screeched on their brakes.
yeah, they said,
"You girls are hilarious."
yeah, and we
or
were
something
like
that.
us?
We said, "Thank you."
We did. No, I was like, oh my god.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was because I don't get recognized. You get recognized. I don't think I would have been recognized alone. But you there with your cane and your like ailments really
My
helped.
ailments are noticeable.
In the tiny microphone you carry around, just so people know.
I had my microphone, but not out.
Yeah, we did do it. This is where, and if you follow our TikTok, you've probably already seen it before.
Yeah, but you should go check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we like that one. I also discovered that I have about 3 This Is Where's I haven't posted from the past year, so those are going to be rolling out soon too.
Yeah, just giving you a warning.
Yeah, you've been warned. You've been warned. And then we're going to go to New York next week. We're flying to the big city next week.
We are.
And we have some This Is Where's planned for New York. And we're also going to go see Oh Mary on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And we just got our hotel room finally. That was the last thing we booked.
Yeah, typical. We got the tickets. We got
the flight.
We got the flight. And I texted Hillary yesterday and go, plane?
What?
I meant to say, whoops. I meant to say hotel. And she said, now mind you, she lives 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
I'll come down tomorrow.
So we can book it.
So we can book it.
No, because as you know from part 1.
She needed my credit card. She needed she needed my credit card.
I needed her credit card.
This
I
is
paid
a
for your
birthday present.
I paid for the flight and the Broadway show.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that's a fair gift. You offered hotel.
I did.
God, this
But
is a partnership.
It's just funny that you had. It's just funny that you had. I'm looking at Gil. It's just funny that you had.
What's he doing?
I forgot what was funny. Never mind.
I forgot. Well, I'm not.
You know what? I'm looking forward to re-listening to this part.
Me too. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
What do we have to say? We're gonna record an episode hopefully in New York, and if we don't
fret.
Don't fret or don't be mad at us.
We don't care how few views we get. We're still doing this.
Yeah. And we don't care if you skip certain parts where I act cringy. We don't care at all.
Just
There's
don't skip any of mine.
I don't care at all. I'm thinking about going to post that on TikTok so you all have to see it. It comes up on your For You page. To the people who skipped.
You should look at the.
And if you're my friends and you've skipped that, I want you to admit it. Yeah, I want you to text
track
me.
your analytics. We want to know. Actually, yes, we want to know. Somebody come forward, one of our friends or enemies or frenemies or whatever you call it.
Yeah, who's the hate
Friends
listener?
with benefits. One of them come forward come forward and admit that you skipped Hillary's high school
Admit
poetry.
it. Admit it.
Yeah. That'll be funny.
Yeah.
We want you to do a testimonial about how you skipped through it.
What if it's the person I wrote it about?
Hilarious.
It's not. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you for tuning in for this chaotic episode. We're getting distracted because my stepdad just brought a single chair to the back deck to just stare silently out to the backyard, and it's a whole vibe. Should we go ruin his vibe?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
you.
Dead Gowns, for your opening song for us. Also, Dead Gowns is playing in Ellsworth, Maine tomorrow. What's the date?
Friday
the
is it
16th.
Yep.
At a brewery that I can't remember. So, there you go.
But somewhere in Ellsworth, it should be easy to find.
Yeah,
it
so
by
if you're
Googling.
in the area and you've listened to this before, or if we've posted it before, because maybe we won't. No, but I think we will. Anyways, bye. We love you.
Goodbye and good night.
Goodbye. Have a good night. Yep.